Welcome back to Real Phonies, where we take a love for movies and television and combine it with very little knowledge about movies and television. I'm your host, Christian. Join with me are my co-hosts, Jehu.
What's up?
Joseph.
Hello.
And Ian.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Here to talk about Game of Thrones, which is finally complete after way too much time of my life devoted to it. The series finale aired this past Sunday, The Iron Throne. What do we think? All spoilers from here on out, I think.
So much spoiling.
Starting with our better or worse.
Okay,
than
I'm saying worse than Transformers. The first half's better, but the second half of the episode is way worse, and it's Game of Thrones at its worst. There's a scene in there that was cringeworthy.
I think there's definitely.
What's your cringeworthy theme, or do you want to wait and tell me when we?
Oh, I can tell you right now that the democracy scene.
But I mean, that's meant to be cringeworthy.
There's
He's supposed to come off like
it made no sense. Like there were people in there that I don't even know who they were.
Yeah.
They were like stand-ins that people can't even place, and like Sam's there giving speeches. Like who was he there representing?
So he's the only Tarly left. The one that doesn't make sense is why all three Starks get a vote.
Yeah,
I mean, fucking.
Are the Tarleys that big of a house? Because
I think at this point they are.
No. There's 7 major houses for 7 fucking kingdoms.
Why was Brienne of Tarth there?
Why is Brienne of Tarth there?
I agree with you that Brienne should not be there.
Why does Waymar fucking Royce get a vote and fucking Robin Arryn get a vote since they're both representing the Vale? That shit makes no fucking sense. We're gonna fucking get to it one thing at a time. This episode is worse than Transformers. I think most people would agree that the first half is stronger. How strong it is depends on kind of how you feel about the season as a whole.
Yeah.
I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it that much comparatively, but then the second half was just fucking a miserable slog for me.
I'm going better than Transformers. I really have hated the last 3 episodes. I mean, to me, the last 3 episodes are arguably the worst 3 episodes in Game of Thrones. And so I definitely thought the first 45 minutes of the show was some of the strongest we had all season. And there are solid moments in the back half, but when it's bad, it's cringeworthy bad. It's horrible. But I think the good outweighs the bad in this episode.
I liked it better than Transformers. I'll get into what I liked about it when I'm arguing with you guys about everything you hated about it.
Excellent. So we're going to try and do this semi-systematically before we get derailed. So we're going to start immediately after the battle, the destruction of King's Landing. Dany, strolled isn't the right word. What's the word? Struts. She does. She struts out behind fucking dragon wings to her giant ass, evil ass army.
How many people have tattoos of that already?
No,
you know what I mean?
Great fucking question.
I mean, she struts out like she's on RuPaul's Drag Race.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Though to be fair, I forgot to mention this last episode. I have fucking loved every outfit that she's had this season. They've been phenomenal. That fucking war dress is amazing.
Yeah, no, the outfits have been great.
I think we're kind of skipping over the dumbest part of the beginning of this episode, which is we need confirmation that the Lannisters are dead.
Oh, well, I don't know if we needed I guess that was kind of confirmation scene. But to me, that was also like Tyrion mourning both of his siblings, which I thought was kind of a sweet, sad moment.
I don't think Tyrion nailed that scene, though.
I know. Well, look,
it felt very Days of Our Lives.
Let me just say this.
I love Days of Our Lives, so maybe that's why I loved it, but I thought it was a good scene.
In the shot of them, because I watched episode 6 again, or 5 again, before this one aired, and it was way worse even than I thought the first time I watched it. But the floor is falling in on them, just, for
100%,
3 seconds.
Yeah.
Now it's in that one spot where they're standing, and it's just shallow enough to where they're like under 3 bricks.
We should be clear that they're
scooted one brick over.
They're under about like 100 feet of castle at that point.
Yeah,
they should be anyway, but they're apparently only under 6 inches of rubble.
It's become such like an NBC nightly show, like you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
no, absolutely.
It
it's
was
fucking
so.
It was so convenient. I think you still could have had that moment with Tyrion walking up and the Red Keep is utterly destroyed, or maybe he goes down the place where he showed Jaime he should go, and the boat's still there, and he's walking up and he sees that it's all caved in there. Like, I think you still can get the confirmation and still get Tyrion's reaction, and it not be so cheap there of like Lannisters just.
He probably could have just found the fake hand and been fine. You would have known what was up there, but I do think if you wanted to believe that he was mourning for both of them, you had to see them. Like, either that or he would have had to say, I am mourning for both of you, which I think would have not made you guys like it any better.
No. But,
That's fair.
Yeah. So let's see what happens at this. John is clearly questioning his life decisions through most of this episode.
Tyrion quits being the hand.
Tyrion rocks up and quits with a sassy ass line and walks away.
Yeah, in front of all the worst people to piss that woman off.
Absolutely.
Dany's going full Mad Queen. She's like, Hitler, basically, with a dress.
She definitely thinks she's morally justified in what she's doing.
Yeah, but it's painted very much like she's evil.
Yeah, I don't
like the
I
color
don't think
scheme.
Mad is correct. She just thinks she's right, and anyone who doesn't agree with her is going to burn.
Yeah, and she also says she's going to keep going. She's not stopping here. She's going to free everybody from tyrants. So she's going to conquer the world.
Which I thought was kind of a weird choice.
Yeah.
I mean, we can
unless that was always her.
Yeah, we can dig into like the Dany psychology if we want to, like a little bit later when we get to the end of Dany. But there are some justifications I made in the last episode that I don't think carry through into this one. So I just kind of wanted to dig into it a little bit more. But
I feel like the Dany thing, I didn't talk about it because I wasn't here in the last one. I feel like it could be handled well in the books. He could write it up.
Absolutely,
well.
I think you can.
The authors, the showrunners they're sick of doing the show, and they sped through it.
Yeah.
I think it's not a bad twist. It's done badly on the show.
Yeah, I just don't feel like there's been enough to justify that kind of mentality that she's displaying in this show. I think you could have written it in a way, but I don't think we've seen nearly enough for that.
A lot of people talk about Game of Thrones subverting expectations, but anytime it does that, it does it almost in that it subverts a trope, not what happens in the show. Which is when Ned gets beheaded, he's the main character. It's not because it's really all that surprising. Ned's been in jail for 3 episodes at that point, and Joffrey's a crazy person. Yeah. Or the Red Wedding. Like, Robb screwed those people over and lied to them and then put himself in the lion's den and gets his throat slit. Like, it's never a subversion to character. It's a subversion to plot or a subversion to tropes. And I think the problem with the Dany switch is it is a subversion to character.
Yeah, no, it feels like a betrayal of a character that we've been with for 7 seasons.
That does not feel like the woman who locked up her children for burning a little girl alive. It just doesn't feel like a person we spent 7 seasons establishing as this. I will say her motivations, like, I'm glad that they did bring it back to the freedom thing. Because we had talked last week about how I had said I felt like that was always Dany's motivation, is that she wanted to break the wheel. She wanted to be the leader for the people who never had one. And I like that she said those things. It's just her interpretation is crazy, but it just is not. It's not earned.
No, I just don't think. I feel like there's been way too many times up to this point where she's failed and had to completely like rearrange her worldview to be that fucking. I know that this is the way. I know that I'm the chosen one, and I think you could have written it in a way that she discovers this. She reaches this epiphany, but I don't think that ever happened in the show.
No, I think it'll be better in the books. I do. I mean, like,
if we ever fucking get him.
Yeah, he's sitting on money, but no, I think, like I said, the turn of her character, I feel like, wasn't bad. It was just poorly done on the show. But
I went over this in the last episode, but I always thought she was a little crueler than she needed to be. I mean, going back to, I think it was in season 2, I can't even remember what their deal was, but there was a group of people she came in conflict with, and she like buried them alive for kind of wronging her. I don't know. To me, I just don't think it was that much of a stretch. I think she's always thought she was right, and she was willing to go above and beyond in cruelty to get what she thought was right.
I don't think we're saying that it's not there. I just think we're saying it's not as well as established as it should be. Or the evolution from being somewhat of a harsh judge.
Yeah.
To then becoming a mass murderer.
Right. And like a fucking predestined zealot kind of thing. Like this is her fucking destiny.
Well, I feel like she's also been like, the more like, she's always been a conqueror, but not a good like ruler. You know what I mean? Like, she's good at like breaking down places and like taking over, but once she's there, it always goes shitty. You know what I mean? And it kind of like, she likes conquering. You know what I mean?
I can't remember the dude's name. Who's the guy that she left in charge down south?
Dario Naharis.
Yeah.
I wish there would have been a scene where we just saw where he was ruling down there and everything was going great.
Yeah.
Like, there was like,
Yep.
like it was just, it was easy living, tropical paradise down there.
Yeah, but I remember like she took over like Yunkai, some of these slaver cities, and then she went to I don't know the bigger one, Marine, and then like they went to shit. You know what I mean? And she's not really good at keeping.
Kind of went to shit after she left.
That's what I mean. Well, yeah, so that's I mean she's not good at really governing. But even when she had the Sons of the Harpy, you know, it's like she always is better at kind of taking over than like ruling.
The other thing that weirded me out about that one scene where she's doing her Hitler speech is just that I feel like. From day fucking one, it has always been about getting the Iron Throne.
Yeah.
And then to be like, okay, I got the Iron Throne. On this same day, I'm going to tell you we're going to sweep the rest of the fucking world and free them too.
Yeah.
I just don't feel like that. Again, there could have been a time where she gained that motivation through, you know, someone telling her or reading a book or doing something, but there's never anything to indicate that she had like larger ambitions beyond that to me, or there's not enough.
What comes next is the Tyrion Jon bit after Tyrion's arrested. Kit Harington, I think, is the worst actor on the show. Like after watching this episode, he has the same face. He makes the same face when he kills the woman he loves that he makes when he gets freedom and gets back reunited with his dog.
Yeah,
it's the same face.
I love the line he keeps giving is "You will always be my queen."
Yeah.
God.
He just glowers a lot. You know, he just
his brow has to be like. Constantly furrowed.
Yeah.
It's just locked in this position now.
A thing that hurts that whole season too is they just have no chemistry.
None.
No, absolutely not.
I heard said that last
even in like their last moment, that should be like romantic. I'm like, are they brother and sister? I mean, they're aunt and nephew, I guess, but they feel like brother and sister.
Yeah, it's
definitely. If there's anything I think they should have backdated, it's them meeting because they did not have enough time to sell what was very important to these last two seasons, that those two people loved each other.
Yep.
One thing we did get out of this episode is we finally know why Tyrion makes that funky face at the end of last season.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently he was also in love with Daenerys. Just like every man on this show. Except for Grey Worm.
Stupid. Like, why did Tyrion have to say that?
Grey Worm and Sir Barristan, the only people that just willfully followed. There were no feelings. I did not like that. I didn't like that line at all.
No, so...
I mean, I like that it at least tied up that thing.
I agree there. It at least resolved that issue. One thing we did not get resolution to is whatever the frick Cersei and Tyrion talked about.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I think it was just poor editing.
Yeah.
No, 100% that's what that was.
What moved you? Because I'll tell you the one scene that moved me the most, the only scene that moved me at all, where I had to like fight, you know, I got a little moist in the eyes, is when Brienne whooped out the Kingsguard book.
Oh yeah,
and started writing all of Jamie's accomplishments.
I actually absolutely hated that.
Well,
I'm on board with these.
That was the one that got me a little bit. I was like, oh my god, I'm feeling a little bit.
Yeah, let's hit it beat by beat. All right, so Jon gets convinced by Tyrion. He doesn't tell him that, but he's convinced by it.
And Arya.
Yeah. And, you know, goes up to meet Dany, who is, again...
Why did they show that fucking horse last week? There was no
fucking reason.
I think just because it was so fucking sexy. That was a very sexy horse.
So when I watched it, and I thought, I was like, I'm not saying I'm smarter than those dudes are, but this is what I thought. Going back to season 1, the whole God of Death thing, right? Mm-hmm. And then you have, like, on a pale horse, and I was like, oh, Arya's like becoming the god of death.
And that's what I was confused about, because I was like, is the Bible in this
saying now? I was like, oh, they're trying to tell me that she is like the ultimate killer. Horse is gone, and she doesn't do anything this episode. So that was dumb.
Yep.
Just symbolism. She got out on a horse.
Yeah, no, there is no symbolism. She rode a horse out of the city. That's what it means.
Yep, that's it.
So anyway, Dany makes a short-lived villain monologue about...
I feel bad.
Counting to 20?
Yeah.
Counting to 20.
She got killed monologuing.
Yep. You know, she's a villain.
She's the super villain.
Yeah.
And then, you know, Jon stabs her, because of course he does, which, again, if we're looking at a larger scale from the prophecies and greater things in this book, might mean that he's the prince that was promised. Who fucking knows? Who cares? It doesn't matter.
We'll get back to that.
We will get back to that.
By the way, then the best thing that should have happened on screen happens off screen, which is Grey Worm and Jon's interaction.
Yes!
Post-death.
Yeah. I know, right?
That's especially because they've teased those two fighting.
Yeah, absolutely. So
hard.
much. So then Drogon comes in and is all sad, and like Simba Mufasa's on Dany. And then because he apparently understands like politics and power structures in Westeros, burns the Iron Throne for a symbolic satisfaction.
Yep.
See,
I like that, though.
See, goddamn it. I said if I was going to reference any tweets that anybody said, I was going to memorize who did it. And I forgot who said this now. But somebody said that they thought the reasoning was that Drogon thought that the sharp chair had killed his mommy. Yeah. And I'm really on board with that.
Yeah, I had heard that as well.
It's fair.
That's good.
And then he carries Dany's corpse to
We don't know.
who knows where. Hard cut.
Yeah.
To indeterminate amount of time later.
It's enough time for Tyrion's beard to grow double in length.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like a month?
Who knows?
I would say
beard's not growing that
a
fast.
fortnight, as Game of Thrones would say.
Well, I mean, he said weeks, but he didn't say how
weeks.
many
Yeah,
weeks.
I
Okay.
assumed about a month. That's what I
Yeah.
heard.
Yeah. And then it's just a bunch of assholes sitting in chairs.
And then it's just the worst.
Yeah.
It just takes a hard left, and it just gets
We got
awful.
the main players from all the major houses, including more than the requisite amount of Starks and Bran's crippled ass. We got
Brienne of Tarth.
Brienne of Tark. We got
Uncle
Isn't
Tully.
Isn't Braun sitting there?
I didn't see
I don't
him.
think Bronn is sitting there.
We got Samwell Tarly.
Yep. The Tully. I can't
Edmure
remember his-
Tully.
Yeah.
We got a new Dorne Prince.
yeah. A
We got
Dornish
Yara
prince.
Greyjoy.
Yep. Waymar Royce and Robin Aaron, who we haven't seen in quite a while, who's smoldering real hard.
Hit the gym.
And
Yeah.
well, I had weird feelings about this because that dude is definitely doing like his like Flynn Rider smolder the whole fucking time he's sitting in that chair. And I'm thinking to myself, man, we saw you suck on your mama's titty. Like, this is not a thing that you can pull off.
That's hilarious.
I mean, it is. I would have never thought that kid would grow up to look anything but weird and off-putting.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, so to be fair, he's kind of succeeded in that, but like
It's the biggest turnaround since Neville Longbottom.
a lot of people have made that comparison.
Really?
Yeah. But really, just turn it down for like half a second.
Bunch of people we don't know.
there is a awful democracy joke,
Yep.
and then there's a vote to decide who's the king, but it's not by the 7 houses. It's just by people who are present, and as we've mentioned, not everyone deserves a vote in this circumstance.
Yep.
Again, all 3 Stark children
I
get
mean,
a
it
vote.
was clearly unanimous, but
Yeah.
also I can't believe that in the last fucking episode of the largest TV show of this fucking decade,
Water bottles.
well, that, but also that we had fucking time for that Edmure Tully bit where he stands up and talks.
Okay.
And
I like
makes
that
him
part.
sit
I like
down.
that
Fuck you guys.
See, I liked both that and I liked the democracy joke. I thought.
I hated the democracy
See,
joke.
the thing is, I was like, oh shit, this is about to happen. And I was like, I think at one point I predicted this, so that makes it my fault. This is awful. But then when it turns out they all laughed at him and mocked him, I thought that was a good scene. I thought that was a good way to play. Like, no, that's not going to happen in this universe. This is still the dark, dark ages of this Earth-like
I mean,
place.
honestly, objectively for Westeros, I think that's a bad idea. I'm not sure I support a democracy in Westeros.
Everyone's evil in Westeros. So.
I mean, someone's going to slit his Bran's throat.
Good.
In a week, and then
Fuck that
they're all
guy.
scheming again. They'll be back at
Yeah,
war. Like,
so-
they're already scheming. You know what I mean?
I'm going to get to this later, but I want to remember what you said right there because you just hit on exactly why I like this ending.
oh,
We'll
they're
get
doing.
back
They're,
to
yeah,
it.
they're definitely doing a sequel to this
Oh,
show.
I'm not even talking about a sequel, but
Yeah.
go
Keep
ahead.
going.
Keep going. What happens next?
We've
John gets punished to go to the wall.
we've jumped over some things, but yes, John is apparently gets to go to the Night's Watch again.
Tyrion becomes the hand.
Yeah, so-
That's
so-
a punishment.
And yeah, Bran becomes king.
I love that the internet said Grey Worm is the worst negotiator ever. But why the fuck is Grey Worm negotiating at all? Like, I don't really understand
He's
his...
like the only appointed person.
I know.
I feel like he wanted to just go home.
But
too.
I like the... well, yeah, then why would he fucking care what happens to anybody?
That's why I feel like he sucked at it.
Why would he respect, like, what the Night's Watch is if he's never fucking been to this country and doesn't know what the fuck these
I
people
think
are?
that scene was, a lot of it was about giving Tyrion a win. Like, you put him, any battle and stuff, he's not going to make a difference. But you put him in the situation where the best wordsmith is going to win, and he wins in that situation.
He doesn't deserve to win because his ideas are fucking terrible.
yeah, he literally is lost for like 3 seasons straight.
Okay, but
Anyway.
come back. Let's just finish the episode.
We'll,
then we can
we'll
talk
do,
about
we'll
it.
do our best. Yeah, John gets sent out to the Night's Watch to who cares?
Why does he even have to go? Because Grey Worm, he leaves. And then John goes
100%,
after
100%.
that. Like, Grey Worm's not coming back.
I feel like it's...
Well, I think that reflects in the ending, though. But we'll get to that in a moment.
So, yeah, I can't even remember. Where there's like a Stark montage at the very end. There's a scene where...
Sansa becomes Queen of the North.
Queen of the North. They become an independent nation, which she's always been the hardest pusher for.
And she gets some badass outfits when she becomes Queen.
Yeah, for sure.
Even though Dorne was an independent state longer than Westeros.
Dorne would definitely try and get their independence.
So would fucking the Greyjoys.
I know,
it's been their whole thing.
I know. So none of it makes sense. But keep going.
Arya goes out west to do fuck all again.
That's a spinoff.
Yeah,
100%. 100% spinoff.
I mean, is she going to find a Marikos or something like that? Like what
that would be crazy.
You know, I liked that. I think that was a good. I mean, it doesn't really. I don't remember her ever having a great love for exploring. She just explored to find out how to kill.
I have a point. There's a point to this, but I want to. Before we get to that, I want to know that we're through everything.
Yeah,
then there's a small council meeting of the new fucking power structure in Westeros because one, we needed a new fucking small council, and it's good to maintain all of the fucking terrible institutional things that led to all of the other problems we've had in this nation. But
like a master of whispers.
So we got fucking Bran, the weird ass cripple that's barely fucking human. We got Tyrion, who's been wrong about every fucking thing since he's been on this goddamn show. We got Bronn, who's just there because people like him.
Who wants to fund
we got Sam, who's not only a maester but the Grand Maester, because I guess he's qualified for that, and he has written the Song of Ice and Fire, which again was a thing we predicted, but is the most cringeworthy thing when it actually
he made it feel like it was an infomercial. It's like, we've watched an 8 million year infomercial.
It made it seem like he wrote it in a day. Like he had no beard. He looked the same age.
Look. It's like infamous that Martin loves like the whole Scourge of the Shire thing, and that's 100% what this episode was. But the fact that they did the there and back again thing just blew my mind.
Well, first of all, I loved the small council because, I mean, what it stinks of to me is Tyrion just surrounded himself with a bunch of people he likes to hang out with and the Onion Knight to do all the work. Like, you know, the Onion Knight is definitely the assistant manager there, and he's going to do all the actual work, and those other guys are just there for Tyrion to hang out with. I thought that was a great ending for those characters.
I just can't believe that Davos survived this whole thing.
That's super fair.
I think I also said this in an earlier episode. All I care about is if Davos survives, and he did, so I'm on board.
And seems to be doing okay.
Master of ships.
Podrick is in the Kingsguard, and then we skipped over the most important scene that you wanted to talk about. Which
Podrick and Bran are both in the Kingsguard.
I mean, it's bad for Podrick, though, because his whole power is in his dick, right?
Who do you think will be Master of War? Because that's what they were talking about.
Who fucking cares? But presumptively that Brienne is whatever the person in charge of the Kingsguard is, the Lord Commander of the Kingsguard or whatever.
That's why she was sitting at the council.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, I tell you exactly who ends up being Master of War. The next time a war comes, they pull Jon Snow out of retirement and make him the Master of War.
If they can.
Yeah.
Jon Snow ain't never coming back. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And so the most important thing is that the show ends the way it began with some fucking Night's Watch leaving the wall in the excursion to the north, but instead of the beginning where you get alerted to this idea of this evil army of the dead marching south. It's the army of the living marching north to reclaim their land. It's fucking beautiful. I hate this show.
I mean, I really did like that part
because
too. I had said earlier in the week, although I don't think I said it in the last episode, is like the only happy ending you could give to Jon is sending him north of the wall, because that was the only time on the show he was happy. That was the only time he wasn't like drowning in miserable obligation. So I took that as a happy ending. I took it. He's going with those people to start a new thing, and nobody's going to really give a fuck because who's going to check on the Night's Watch? It doesn't serve a purpose anymore.
I mean, look, he wouldn't have been more happy in the Night's Watch, but I'm kind of worried because I think he got the only hot wildling.
I mean,
I have not. All of the other ones just seem dirty.
That might be the catch he hadn't thought of.
I like that he pet a ghost.
Yes, fine.
Which finally, made up for, him bullshitting 2 seasons.
I had texted you guys beforehand. I had wanted him to end up at least at the Night's Watch, or no farther south than the Wall. And I'm glad that we got that because I agree with you. The only time he's ever been happy is when he was north of the Wall. And I also feel like there is something about circular storytelling in that it's important for characters to re-experience events but be a different person when they do it. And so I feel like Jon has gone on this long journey and become a different person, and for him to end back up there is the right place for Jon to end. It's my issue with the whole episode is that I agree with the endings we get. I do think Sansa should be Queen of the North.
Absolutely.
Or, at least the Steward of Winterfell or whatever. Like, she was the right person for it. It's just the same problem, is that we do enough to deserve that? Because certainly that council scene where everyone's sitting there and electing, and for her to just be like, hey, I know you're my brother and you're the king now, so, like, let us be our own thing. And then no one else says a damn word.
Like, hold on, this seems like a stacked deck.
Yeah. That's the problem. It's not that the choices were wrong. It's just how they were made is what's wrong.
Also, Bran's line of, like, do you want to be king? Oh, I don't want to be king. Well, will you be king? Well, why do you think I came here? Fuck you, Bran.
I'll be honest. When he said that, I thought, oh, this dude's fucking evil.
Yeah, he is fucking evil. I don't know.
Bran, they haven't developed Bran at all as a character.
No.
So
there's a whole season without Bran in it.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. And, like, you make him the final person on the chair. Like, we don't know Bran at all, especially because he got weird the last two seasons. Like,
they're definitely, again, if we're talking about a better written show, and talking about kind of like coming back around to where you started, there is definitely a beautiful symmetry to his story if you frame it the right way. But for the most part, for the last 3 seasons, he's either been not there or just been a weird fucking a chair.
I mean, definitely, from a storytelling aspect, it makes sense that he's kind of the guy. Him getting pushed off that balcony is what got all these wheels.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really
yeah.
So having him be the end of the thing is pretty good storytelling. I liked it. I know you guys don't like the execution of it, but I thought it was a good.
A guy I work with, he had this really great idea, and he had similar opinions kind of to where I was about it. He was fine with the choices made. He didn't like how we got there. He said the whole bit with Tyrion, his whole spiel was, what would make it better is if there were points in the show where Bran were telling stories. Not just the whole, like, Aegon, you are a Targaryen.
No, absolutely.
But, like, telling Brienne that, hey, you know why you're so tall? Because you're related to Duncan the Tall. Like, at this point where he's telling people their history, and you're like, so when Tyrion's given all that bullshit, it's like, oh, he has been doing that the whole time, and that helps justify that decision.
Well, you know what? It was another one of those things that happened off screen. It was,
the fireplace.
Tyrion asked him to tell him the story, and
Also, this is fucking Dumbledore in the train station of like author injection of it's the most powerful thing in Westeros is stories.
Right.
Fuck you. I hate this show.
I also liked that part.
One of the things I really liked about that part where Tyrion's just talking is how quickly he just jumps on. Here he is, first of his name, Bran the Broken.
Yeah, I know.
And there's a meme. It's Tyrion, Bran the Broken, Bran. Yeah, actually, just Bran is cool. Tyrion, Bran the Busted Up. Bran, okay, or Tyrion, Bran, the wheelie legs no feeling. I fucking like there was no consultation. It's just Bran the Bro. Well, I have other qualities. I'm not just a guy in a wheelchair.
He's an ableist.
Yeah,
I think we exchanged some jokes about this earlier, though. But it was kind of fucked up that Sansa just told everybody without asking that Bran's dick didn't work.
Yeah.
Why does everybody on this show know what's going on with everybody else's dick?
that's the only thing that matters in Westeros.
It's so annoying.
When Theon got his dick cut off, he should have been able to keep that secret.
Ramsay told everybody.
He wore pants all the time, Yeah. Like, I don't know. Everybody just always knows what your dick status is. I think it's a weird world to live in.
God, that was so...
So, one thing I wanted to talk about was I did like how the direwolf names lined up with the fates of the characters of the show. Jon essentially does become a ghost and just disappears off into the north. Nymeria, that's exactly what happened to Nymeria as she sailed off to the west, just like Arya does. Lady, Sansa does become the Lady of Winterfell. And Summer, that Bran is the, resolution to the long night.
Yeah, also,
like
that was the shortest fucking winter on the
did
planet.
the winter go away that quick?
Actually, I didn't think it was winter. I do think it's ash. Well, it looks like winter because, like, the clouds and stuff.
Well, we'll come back to it. But it's supposed to be winter, but then when they're going north of the wall... It's fucking...
There's green.
Yeah.
So
green.
It's like...
I know.
That's like
I'm talking about in King's Landing.
Yeah.
No, but I'm saying at the end.
I'm talking about as the shortest fucking season.
Is that 1 year winter?
I don't know. Anyway, carry on.
No, that was it. The dog names line up with their fates. I like that.
No, I didn't know that. I don't know. It sets up to me like they're going to do a movie or something or another show.
I mean,
in 20 years, like...
Well, Macy certainly doesn't have New Mutants coming out. So.
Well, no, I'm saying there's a couple spinoffs, but Macy definitely right away. She's going to go explore the West. But I think there's this whole property. You come back in 20 years and you make John a little older. Bran's dying, and you could do it all. The same.
But that was the point I was referring to. I was going to get to earlier.
Yeah,
I liked that there was ambiguity in the end as to their fates, to where I can still keep thinking about it.
Yeah,
like I read this David Lynch quote one time where he was getting shit about ending his series for a second time in a way that very few people could understand. And he basically said, look, anytime I get closure at the end of the story, that's when I stop thinking about it. I'll still be thinking about this for a while because, what is going to happen when Grey Worm finds out that Jon Snow's just set himself free, how is like a, crippled guy going to be able to defend himself as the king of the most cutthroat place on earth?
He walks into a dragon.
That's true. That's a good point. That's a good because then also what happened to the dragon? Where did it go? Is Dany going to end up being the new Night King? Did the dragon take her north of the wall?
Well,
I think Dany went to or Drogon took Dany to Valyria.
Valyria.
That's what everyone seems to think.
I think
that's kind of where their home was.
I think like most animals, he was like, okay, well, this thing that I was fond of is dead now, so it's a snack.
Yeah, I think he ate her.
Yeah.
I forget there is like an actual statistic on like how long your cat will leave your body out of love before it eats you,
right?
And it's not very long.
Right.
Actually, speaking of that, I have a whole list of unanswered questions, but there is definitely a symmetry of Jon Snow's arc and like the legends about the Night King, who is supposedly a former Targaryen, who is also supposedly the Lord Commander of the Night's Watch, who goes north and gets seduced by that's the mythology. So then again, with we're not going anywhere with the series now because D&D are fucking done with it apparently. But,
I love that the nickname has become D&D, but I also kind of hate it.
Yeah, I know. But it could set it up for again a larger arc to maybe find out what the fuck the White Walkers were about.
Absolutely. At the end of the episode, I thought to myself, "Oh, that's a really beautiful ending for Jon. He could totally become the new Night King." Now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like that was like my immediate thought.
I mean, obviously more than you guys, I liked these last few seasons. I thought I'm definitely not signing any fucking petitions, that's for sure.
That's the saddest part of humanity.
You're not going to sign a fucking petition?
But first of all, Stephen King liked the ending. If Stephen King liked the ending, I don't know more than Stephen King. But
he doesn't have very good endings, Jay.
I would. Okay, The Stand doesn't have a great ending. But other things he's done has a great... Carrie has a great fucking ending.
The Mist doesn't.
He's hit or miss.
I think The Mist has a great fucking ending.
The movie version has a
better ending. Do you think we
ending.
don't have enough shit to talk about on this episode? Are you fucking kidding me?
I was just saying I like Stephen King.
It's my fault.
But anyways, what was I was going somewhere with this. I can't remember who said this. It's another thing I really want to give credit to. But as far as the petition thing, it's great to be Fred Savage in The Princess Bride. It's fucking stupid to be Kathy Bates in Misery.
Yes.
And that's what these fucking guys are with their
That's why he wrote Misery.
Oh, really?
Stephen King wrote a fantasy novel called The Eyes of the Dragon or something, and people hated it because it wasn't a horror book. It was a fantasy novel. And so he wrote Misery as a tribute to all the people who wrote him evil fan mail. So you're dead on already with that. That's where it comes from.
But... I mean, I can understand not liking the ending, the things. But again, as I said in the last episode, I just don't know if you can end one of these shows that have like 20 or 30 main characters in a way that's going to satisfy most people.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I don't know that you can do it with one main character. We all saw the ending to Dexter, right? I mean, we got to agree this is better than that.
Well, I mean, Dexter had a great ending. It was just the season 4. Yeah.
No, I just guarantee this is coming back.
Well,
they left enough characters alive where it's
they're
going to
definitely
be
doing the prequel show.
Well, as like a movie or something. There'll be a sequel with all these people coming back. As long as they kept Jon Snow alive, that was.
I mean,
you
that
can do a
is
million
true.
things now. Aegon's still out there, Targaryen. They
particularly since Jon Snow being like 4'8" is probably not going to have a lot of lead roles after this.
He was in Pompeii. Everyone saw that movie.
Peter
he
Dinklage,
talked shit about that.
Those people aren't doing anything. I guarantee you that they come back and they'll figure something out.
Yeah, I mean it's weird because like they've all been in things, Like, I feel like Sophie Turner...
No, Sophie Turner is going to be fine.
She is good as Jean Grey, but, like, we all know that career's ending after next month.
Yep.
And Maisie Williams, like, that New Mutants movie, we're never going to see.
Nope.
Kit Harington had Pompeii, which was terrible. These people are all on the biggest show in history, and they can't get good jobs.
Actually, you know who I could see doing the best after the end of this? Onion Knight. Yeah. Movies and shows are always going to need an old dude who can lay out exposition and make it seem like dialogue.
That's Liam Cunningham, right? Like, I feel like he's been in shit.
Yeah, he's been around forever.
Yeah, I just can't remember what.
Exactly.
I mean, if you
kind of like the Onion Knight.
Right.
If you age everyone up 20 years and come back at this, then you could do a lot with a different story. There's still a lot you can still do with it.
All right, we got to move on to something.
I do. Yeah. I just because I had written down all the fucking
round.
things. Are you ready? So these are all outstanding things that I had questions about, either about the series as a whole or just about this specific episode. So who was the prince that was promised? Did it fucking matter? Apparently not. Did it even matter that Jon was a Targaryen?
Nope. No, that plus, why did it matter he got raised from the dead?
Absolutely true. Well, actually, what was the fucking Lord of...
I mean, it did matter he got raised from the dead. There wouldn't have been an army to stop the...
Someone else could have filled that fucking void, I feel like.
What? I guess the Lord of Light's plan was specifically for the fucking White Walkers.
Yeah, that's not even true. I can't. We have to talk about that for a second. The Lord of Light is the same, probably the only actual deity in this world. At least that we get the impression.
At least in the show.
And we get the impression that the eggs come from a people group that worship the Lord of Light. So why in the world would he give the eggs to this woman and she be evil the whole time and not even be the one who kills the Night King? Because you could argue that when the Azor Ahai prophecy is fulfilled, it's Jon killing Dany, and that Dany's the real evil the whole time.
Yep.
Not the Night King.
Yep.
And so is it just the Lord of Light playing a game where he both gives you the villain and the hero, and everyone's just a toy in his machinations? Because it doesn't really make sense why he would bring Jon back from the dead and why he would give Dany dragons if he's just going to pit them against each other, because he is the force responsible for both of those things.
It's fair. Yeah, so some dark religious machinations going on there. This one we've already addressed. Does Drogon understand symbolism? No, he was just worried about the pointy objects.
Right.
Also, that scene would have been so much better if he had just tried to kill Jon, and then Jon doesn't burn because he's a Targaryen.
That would have been way better.
And the throne coincidentally melts in the process.
Yep. This one we already did. Why do Sam and Brienne and Waymar get a vote? We don't fucking know. No reason.
I mean, I still think we answered on Sam. I don't know Brienne.
He's not one of the fucking major houses.
He's a Tarly.
Tarly's not one of the major houses.
That's what I mean. No, they're not.
5 noble people left in the kingdom. Everyone else is dead.
I just feel like there's no more Lannister house. It's
hold
gone.
on. No.
Tyrion is the
Bronn.
But I mean, he's in.
Bronn should be the one over him.
7 kingdoms.
Bronn's the guy.
We got the fucking Starks. Yeah. We got the fucking Lannister.
Yep.
We got the we got the Tully. That's what I meant. We got the Martell. We got the Arryn. There's no more fucking Highgarden people, but maybe Bronn is
that's
that
what I mean. Bronn should be there
but
before.
We don't have any confirmation that that's actually happened.
Yeah. I don't even remember what the other one is. There's only one other one, and it's not that.
Dorne.
No, I already did Dorne.
You already did Dorne.
I can't remember.
Doesn't matter.
But it's not the Tarleys.
Yeah. Storm's in.
Yes, and Gendry's fucking there.
Yeah, Tarly shouldn't be there.
In his silly little suit.
It really annoyed me.
They already viewed Sam as the Archmaester.
Yeah, I guess.
He's been the only somewhat religious figure in the last 4 years.
What happened to the old Archmaester?
What happened to every other maester in the fight?
I agree with you. I'm saying the way those characters viewed him is that he was already there.
He's talking. He shouldn't even been there, and he was talking.
Yeah. Well, absolutely. And why are we listening to Tyrion? He's always wrong. Why Bran? Is he even a good person? Is he even a person? Did he set Jon up to fail by telling him that he's a Targaryen?
Non-empathetic leader sounds like a bad decision.
Yeah, absolutely. What does and doesn't he know? Like, is he omniscient? Is he not omniscient? Can he see everything from the past?
Can he see the future?
Can he see that he's had visions of the future? Remember when he fucking changed the past? I guess we're never gonna pay off from that. That was cool. What do you think Dario's doing?
Right, that's my...
Yeah.
I do feel like that's the one guy. I feel like that guy should have probably been there. They probably
it seems like
reached out to
I
that
did
guy.
see some guy who fan wrote his own cut scene after credit scene, which was that instead of going to Noth, that they went back to Essos, and Grey Worm tells Dario everything. He's like, "Oh fuck it, we're going."
Oh, I like that.
Dario's fucked half of Marine by now. He doesn't give a shit about
I bet he misses her 0%.
What's going to happen to the Dothraki without a call? Because they're not going to fucking follow
Well, there's
Grey
like
Worm.
12 of them left, so I don't think
That's what I thought, but apparently they keep reproducing.
That's
there's
what
enough,
I mean.
Apparently,
Yeah.
there's enough to fill a Nazi square.
But they all got snuffed out at Winterfell, but then they're all back.
Everyone, I'm watching it with my family, they're retreated. I'm like, we saw hundreds of fires go out. You saw 8 dudes come back.
So anyway, why is Sam Grain Maester? Was there no one more experienced for that position? Why is Grey Worm respect the Night's Watch, or what it represents? He's never fucking lived there. Why is Grey Worm in charge? Why does Grey Worm even care? I'm very confused about his emotional state versus when he was originally just a soldier and now he's got emotions and he's seen every fucking other person abandon Dany because she's fucking crazy. I don't know. Very confused about it.
I mean, that one makes sense to me, relatively.
Oh yeah, what were Cersei and Tyrion talking about in that episode that got cut off? What was up with the fucking horse? White Walkers, what was their deal? Did they even matter? Did they have a fucking reason for anything?
Not at all.
I will say, I think if there is one mistake they made in this last season that I find a problem with, is that the White Walker thing should have went to the end. They should have found a way to resolve both conflicts at once. Because it feels like halfway through the season, they resolved a fight with the concept of death, and then the rest of the season was just a disagreement.
It's the scourge of the Shire. That's what it is. That you defeat
the great evil.
You defeat the great evil to come home more experienced and battle ready than you ever have been to find crazy Sauron running around the Shire.
Right.
And so instead of crazy Sauron, it's crazy Cersei.
Right.
What was up with Craster's babies that were getting sacrificed in the early seasons and turned into White Walkers?
My biggest question that never got
presumptively
answered.
there were, according to Craster, I knew there were 90 of them. They
became the White Walkers.
Yeah, but how many White Walkers did we ever fucking see?
White Walkers?
Well, they all blew up.
Presumptively, but where were they? Were they just hanging out up north playing Fortnite? What the fuck happened?
Craster, he talks about there's a bunch of them, and we've only seen 8 White Walkers.
I feel like they have a little town.
Maybe. But again, what was their fucking deal? Are they sentient? Do they have a mission? What's their fucking plan?
The show's bad.
In the book, didn't you tell me there is no Night King?
They've hinted at it. They just never
legend.
Okay.
Also, as we were talking about earlier, White Walkers, did they fucking bring winter with them when they marched down? Now that there are no more White Walkers, is there no more winter? Is that just a thing now?
Yeah, winter went away.
After they killed the Night King, it was apparently fucking...
It was 3 months.
Because they say, you've never known winter, there's only been summer, because there hasn't been a long night, but it's not like there's been incursions by the Night King that rapidly.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And, remember those Children of the Forest people that are still hanging out up north? The ones that created the White Walkers in the first place? What are they up to?
Well, the show gives us the impression there's only one of them, and she's dead, but...
Did they tell you that she was the only one, though?
No, I'm just saying it gives you the impression. She's the only one you see.
Was anyone else getting Mad Queen vibes from Sansa?
No.
No, I think she was just satisfied.
I don't know. I could see that happening.
No.
See, I started this season with, Sansa's going to be the new Cersei. She's got...
I still think she could.
But she would never have apologized if that were the case. She knows she did something wrong to get what she wanted, and she said she was sorry for it. Cersei would never do that. Dany sure as hell would never do that.
The North guys sure love raising their sword and...
They sure do.
And chanting, in the North.
Seems ridiculous.
Lyanna Mormont would be so proud.
If I was,
but she got crushed to death.
If I was Sansa, I'd be like, put your fucking swords down already, guys. Enough's enough.
You're clearly not very good at this.
Sansa has spent so much of the last 2 years just sitting in front of that fireplace.
Yeah.
60% of her
to be
scenes.
fair, she's spent a lot of most of the series getting passed over by other male characters, including fucking her wheelchair-bound freak brother.
Yeah.
Why would Why would Brienne and Pod be guarding?
I want to be clear, before this episode goes out, he's not a freak because he's in a wheelchair. He's got other things that make him a freak.
We know.
The fact that he can't emote with his face.
It was important for me to make that clarification.
You've already offended people in wheelchairs last week.
True.
You offended with way other stuff. But no, wouldn't they be guarding...
Go back and listen to last week's episode.
Oh, God. Wouldn't they be guarding Sansa, though? Queen of the North? Wouldn't they be like Sansa's queen?
I think they made her king. They made him Kingsguard, but
I feel like
Podrick certainly never really had that commitment.
Yeah, but I feel like
it does
Brienne,
seem like maybe Brienne should have stayed with
Sansa.
Yeah, that was
split
kind
them
of
up. I would have split them up. That would have been cooler.
Yeah.
The Jamie scene.
I was about to say we have to move on, but I know you had feelings about it.
I just think she should have just wrote the fucking end. By the way, I'm a badass, Sir Brienne of Tarth.
See,
and started her own story.
I mean,
that's what I would have preferred.
Look, I think it should have been both, because I understand that a lot of people are mad that she's like, Jamie did this petty thing to her and fucking left her, and
I get that makes her a better person to write like the
right.
story.
I mean, I think that's more consistent with her character, both in that like that is the more honorable and dutiful thing, and also she is probably the only living person who has seen this other side of what everyone else sees as just a fucking monster.
You're right. It should be both. I agree.
But it should have been. She wrote all that and then turned to the next page and wrote, Brienne of Tarth. And then, that was when they cut to the next scene. Yeah. That's when it should have been. Mm-hmm. I don't have a problem with that scene, but agreed. I definitely think that should have been in there.
That's it.
Okay, no, that's fair. Do we have anything else before we put this fucking thing to bed? Until we see other great memes that we have to talk about next week.
I want to talk about, the most emotional I got was when Brienne was writing in Jamie's accomplishments that brought it to
Yeah, no, that was
the most emotional moment. And John Pet and Ghost. Other than that, and Drogon, maybe Carrie and Danny. Anything with the animals, basically.
Are you calling Brienne an animal?
Yeah, true. But, worse.
Jamie treated her as such.
Worse than Transformers.
Yeah, I'm going to say better. I enjoyed it while I was watching. I would enjoy watching it again.
It's got 8 seasons with a total of, 73 episodes.
Yep.
40 of those episodes are great. Mm-hmm. And then of the remaining seasons, maybe 10 to 15 are great. So I'd say overall the series
lands
is
better than Lost. It lands better than Lost.
See, I disagree on that, but that's kind of the point. I just think it's hard to land a show that has that many moving. Like, say, you look at something like Breaking Bad. Even though there's a lot of characters on it, it was really just Walter's story.
Yeah.
And you basically had 4 options for Walter. He can live, he can die, he can get away with it, or he can get caught. And they went with getting away with it by dying, which was the right ending.
Yeah.
It's easy to land it for one dude, though. Landing it for 40 people is harder.
Yeah.
And the only exception I can think of to that one where everybody's one with a huge cast and everyone's happy with the ending is The Wire, but that shit doesn't even count.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, which actually I can think of someone in this room that doesn't really like the last season of Wire.
The last season of The Wire is not very good.
Yeah, you don't like it.
No,
like
yeah.
But the thing is with The Wire is its whole thing is nothing you do matters really. Almost that that the game is just going to keep happening. So having no closure on one character, but then having closure on another just doesn't really make a difference on it. So it's almost exempt from these.
I'm trying to think of a show that ends well.
I think The Office ends well. I think most of the back half of The Office is not good. But I think the last season comes on fairly strong, and I think the series finale is a good episode for what The Office was, and that's a big cast.
That is a big cast.
It's a comedy. I get it's totally different, but
I think people who like Parks and Rec say the same thing about it. I never finished Parks and Rec, so I don't. I say that about 30 Rock. 30 Rock might be my favorite show ever, and things sort of get less consistent in the last few seasons.
I love the last episode,
but the last episode's good.
Yeah. I can't think of one that really ends very well.
the bit with Jack sailing away for 5 seconds and coming back. I've got it, Lemon. Dishwashers with glass in the front. I fucking love that.
Yeah,
I think about that joke every once in a while, and it makes me laugh.
I just think it's a hard thing to land, and and I think it's more prevalent now with the internet.
For sure. And it definitely is harder with the amount of people that are invested in it, with the amount of
podcasts that you can listen to.
Because everybody's wrote their ending for 40 different characters with all the different options. I talked about Walt and his 4 options. Well, let's say you've got a show that has, let's say, even 10 main characters, and they all have 4 options. that's a lot of options and a lot of room for a lot of people to be disappointed.
Yeah. You ready for my argument?
What?
Endgame.
Okay, Endgame. Endgame, it's funny because I was about to say, no, that's a movie, but that really is a TV show. The Marvel Universe is
It's 22
There's 22 episodes.
Just like a normal season.
I even say if you go by hours, if you go by the hours of that, it's about the hours of the length of a whole TV run. There's about like 60 hours of it.
Here's the thing. I agree with what you're saying, that I understand that it's always going to be hard to stick the landing with the big ensemble cast, even as you're paring it down over the seasons. But just because it's hard doesn't mean I feel like we need to give them a pass. Especially for a show that is literally the biggest show with a seemingly limitless budget.
But what I'm saying is, I'm not saying it's hard to do it. I'm saying I don't necessarily agree that these shows aren't doing it. I'm just saying they're not living up to the expectations of armchair writers at home, and I think that's a bullshit thing to judge it by.
This is kind of semi-off topic, semi still on topic. We had a heated text discussion this week about Last Jedi and comparing, because these guys are going on and writing their own Star Wars movies.
Oh, after this, by the way, I've decided I'd rather have Rian Johnson. I was on board with D&D, but now I want Rian Johnson.
My issue with D&D being, I thought those guys were so great at taking something that already existed and making it available for television. Mm-hmm. But when they became responsible for the story, they don't understand how to develop characters or combine the idea of character and plot. And I think that was just really prevalent in these last few seasons. And it again comes down to what we've talked about at length. More time means you can slow down the plot and increase character development. And that's really what it needs. I don't think as many people have problems with the choices as you're saying they do, Jay Hugh. I just think the general consensus is we don't feel like they were developed enough to make sense.
I mean, one thing I will agree with, these last two seasons should have been full seasons.
Yeah.
They needed a little bit more time
a little more meat on the bone.
A little bit more time to sell some of the relationships we had been building.
For sure, you're absolutely right on John and Danny, because it feels like John gets there, his entire focus is on Dragon Glass, then his entire focus is on catching a white, and then all of a sudden they're boning on a boat.
Right.
And it doesn't really seem like where did the development that he was in love with this woman came from.
I mean, really, it mostly seemed like, hey, we're both short.
Yeah. But we should probably move on.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So Game of Thrones, it's in the books. It's over.
Done. So, okay, as a series, where do we go?
I said better than Transformers because I think it's got more. Yeah.
I definitely go better.
Yeah, better.
I don't think something even having a bad ending can necessarily ruin the
No, it's
lost.
I don't think it ruins it.
First of all, I don't think it has a bad ending, and second of all, I don't think it. How can it ruin if you?
I won't go back and watch another shitty Kate flashback episode because I know what, I'm not investing time in this bullshit show anymore.
I'll agree with you. The Kate flashback episodes are not good.
Those are the worst ones.
I just
they were a chore to get through. Some of this, there are some. Anyway, we're not.
As a prissy armchair analyst who loves this shit, I hate to tell somebody, "Oh, you should watch Game of Thrones. It's really great for 4 seasons," and then it's okay, and then it doesn't end great. But really, the first 4 seasons are really good,
and you're gonna want to finish it after you get to that point.
Yeah, it is.
See, but unlike Dexter, where you can get to season 4 and be like, stop, it has an ending.
Right.
Don't keep watching.
Right.
This show, you have to finish.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
So, anyway, that's Game of Thrones. I hope you, as the listener, have gleaned more satisfaction out of the ending than most of us have. But
it probably was so boring to listen to. I apologize.
I don't apologize. This is what you signed up for.
Inside pool, but I think the first take was going stronger.
So anyway, what have we been watching? I will start because I've watched a fuck ton of shit, and it's all TV shows. So I'm still watching that Death Parade anime. About where people die at the same time and they have to go to this purgatory to play a parlor game to determine whether they go to heaven or hell. It's a ridiculous premise. I just love I love things.
What's the parlor game?
Well, like pool or darts or an arcade game. And I like the fact that I appreciate stories where everything makes sense, but I also like things where things are just that way because. The setting of where they play these games is like a hotel bar that was probably the coolest and most modern hotel bar in the 50s and hasn't been updated since then. And I don't know, it's a great fucking weird setting for the. I don't know, I'm into it. It doesn't make sense, but it's an entertaining show. Attack on Titan is still good. The new season's still coming out. That's a show that I feel like achieves what Game of Thrones wants to achieve. Like the stakes on that show feel high every week, and it constantly feels like everyone should die all the time. I started the wife on My Hero Academia because why not? She's enjoying it so far. She also wanted me to mention that we watched the Michelle Wolf stand-up on HBO, Nice Lady. Very funny. And I passive watched the most recent episodes of What We Do in the Shadows, mostly because I wanted to get to the episode with all the famous people in it. And all the famous people are in it. It's everyone who's ever played a vampire in anything. They even make jokes about some of the people they couldn't get. So it's all like, it's Tilda Swinton, the original What We Do in the Shadows folks, Danny Trejo's there. There's like just a
Wesley
bunch.
Snipes.
Wesley Snipes is on Skype in the episode, but like in the show, like Tilda Swinton, her vampire name is Tilda, and like each one is their own. And then they're like, "Is there anybody else that should be here?" Like, well, we tried to get Tom and Brad, but they were of course they're very busy, And I don't know, it's a really funny gag. It's a show that doesn't have like jokes, but like the visual gags and like just situational gags are pretty good.
Is that a streaming?
It's on
FX.
It's on FX, but it's on Hulu.
Okay.
So
Did you watch the movie?
No. Do I need to watch?
No, you don't need to watch it, but the movie's funny.
You should just watch the movie.
Where is the movie streaming anywhere?
Probably.
It's Amazon Prime. It's on there.
Yeah.
I'll check that out.
You like Taika Waititi?
That's what I mean. That's what makes me. That's what makes
oh yeah,
me watch
you'll
it.
definitely like it.
Yeah. So
That's it for me.
That's it. I have watched a lot of John Wick.
How many times have you watched John Wick?
No, I mean I watched John Wick 1, John Wick 2, and John Wick 3. John Wick 3 is really good. I don't know. We're not going to do an episode on it, I guess. Yeah, it's like got some really, really cool action scenes that are like nuts. Like it's the gunplay in those movies are out of this. Like whoever like mixed the sounds on the guns, they just sound real. Like the headshots, a lot of the action's like pretty nuts. Kind of feels like an anime. I think you guys would like it. It kind of fits in like a Kill Bill kind of universe. And I watched the first two. First one's really good. First one was a lot better than I remember. I remember being like smaller kind of action, but there's like a scene where he like rolls in the nightclub and he just like
yeah, so good.
That scene's crazy.
Yeah.
It is so cool.
And I can remember specifically thinking about that screen. Oh yeah, what I need is another nightclub gunfight. Like I can go back and watch all 9 seasons of Alias if I need to see that shit or something. But it's fucking great.
Yeah, it's real cool. And then there's a scene in the second movie where he fights Common that's
so good.
Yeah, really fun cool. So yeah, definitely check those out. That's pretty much it.
I will say, the thing I like about the first John Wick is, like, I feel like John Wick 1 hits, like, the actual emotional beats harder than any other one. Yep. So it does feel like a more personal story, and the rest are kind of more about this larger mythology about this assassin society and the legend of John Wick. But the first one is kind of fun.
Becomes more like a blockbuster, the bigger.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Sure.
I watched Les Mis this week.
Still Russell Crowe?
Yes. Still like one of my favorite movies ever. I want to watch the PBS show. It just ended, but it's been airing at the same time Game of Thrones comes on. So I have not.
Did Anne Hathaway make you cry?
She didn't, and we'll talk about that off
Are you
air.
Are you as down as Russell Crowe singing as Nip says?
I think Russell Crowe does a great job.
See,
my least favorite part.
Me too.
My least favorite part of that movie
Auto-Tune does the best job for Russell Crowe on that. But
is Hugh Jackman. I just can't buy Hugh Jackman as an actor.
What?
Can't do it.
Hugh Jackman's entirety?
Yeah, I've really soured on the guy.
What?
Have you guys seen that stupid circus movie? It ruins the rest of it. From
Water for Elephants?
The other stupid shit.
the one with singing in it.
The one where Christoph Waltz is actually the good guy.
Yeah. I watched Brave, which I hadn't watched in a long time. I have said at length I think that's the worst Pixar movie.
You said that last week.
You did.
And it is true. Reconfirmed that suspicion. I read the second part of the Thrawn trilogy, Dark Force Rising. I like it. I think it's actually better than the first one. I had only read the first one for a long time. That dude really knows how to write those characters, like, really well.
100% that dude knows how to write
if you've ever read any of the other, like, Legends books, I don't think anyone quite captures the voices of Luke, Han, and Leia as well as he does. I also, because we talked about it, went back and rewatched Last Jedi. Still like it, still a fan. I like it more now because the more I know about the Legends stuff, the more I can see Rian Johnson's also a fan. A lot of the like details in that movie are really pulled from that extended universe stuff that is no longer canon. He tried to bring a lot of that stuff back in.
Like the green milk?
Like Dreadnoughts, like Benicio del Toro's character. All of that is, not the character itself, but what is it called?
Codebreaker?
No, it's got a name, and I can't remember what it is. It is a codebreaker, but it's got like a name, and I can't
Star
remember.
Warsy name.
All of that is from the Thrawn trilogy. The Dreadnought class ship, which is the ship that Snoke is on, that is like the plot point of the trilogy, is finding those ships. And then I read some older comics-ish. I read Avengers Age of Ultron, which, if you're unfamiliar, has absolutely nothing to do with the movie. They just took the name. If you're looking for an Ultron comic, I do not recommend this one, because he's not in it at all. He is ruling from the future through vision in the present. And there are cool scenes in it, but it gets real kind of timey-wimey. There's a scene where there are two Wolverines arguing whether or not they should kill Hank Pym. It's strange.
Sounds about right.
It's a mess. You know, it's Brian Michael Bendis at one. I mean, he still is probably the biggest name in comic books.
Yeah.
But at one point it was deserved, and he takes a turn, and probably, you know, there, like when any sort of turn, there's debates on, is it still good, is it not?
Yeah.
But the one where everybody was like, hey man, what the fuck happened with this dude, was Age of Ultron, because it's just a mess.
There is a point where Luke Cage takes on the force of an atomic bomb, and I thought that was pretty cool. But most
and it has some really good artwork.
Yeah, it does.
You know,
it does
and
look
it's
great.
one that has a lot of different artists, which I don't usually like. I'll usually like one consistent vision, but this works it pretty well.
Yep. That's about it. I am going to start the Hawkeye series tonight.
Hawkeye series is the shit. That's the best stuff. All right. Last week I sort of mentioned a little that I'd started reading the Immortal Hulk, the new run of the Hulk. I've continued reading that, and it's fucking awesome.
Is Bruce Banner Hulk, or is it Adam Mischel?
It's Bruce Banner Hulk. Basically,
you know, he died.
Well, you know, Civil War II was a contender for being the worst crossover event ever, except for, you know, Secret Empire came out in the same year, so it wasn't even the worst one that year.
You didn't like Secret Empire?
I did not. But yeah, the Hulk dies in it, and I wasn't going to try this book initially because I'm sick of them bringing back, killing characters and bringing it back. But they actually made that the premise of this. The Hulk now can't die, and that's how he becomes the Hulk. Bruce Banner has to die to then become the Hulk later at night.
So he's like a werewolf.
So basically, they've reinvented the series as a horror series. And, you know, Hulk's had various personas over the years. This new persona is calling himself the Devil Hulk. Oh. And basically, Banner just does the best he can to find out things that Hulk can take out his anger on. But there's, as it, you know, there's like a mythology to it, and there's a thing called the Green Door, and you're trying to find out what exactly the Green Door is. It's a writer named Al Ewing who mostly does cosmic stuff, but you know, has really did this horror thing well. The artist's name is Joe Bennett, who's a guy who I always thought was boring as fuck, but he really lands it on this. So yeah, I recommend that a lot. I, like Ian, also watched John Wick 3. That shit was fucking dope.
Yeah.
That shit, there is a knife fight in the beginning in a room full of antique knives and cases that by the end of it, I was like, well, there'll never be a better action scene than this. And there's 3 better action scenes in just this movie. It's really fucking good. You talked about the mythology. I really like that they give you just enough of the mythology that it's interesting, but not enough that you can poke a lot of holes.
Yep.
In it. The only holes I can poke in it is, why do so many of these badass assassins need day jobs? Like, why does the ninja guy and his like sidekicks why do they also run a sushi stand?
Didn't that feel like just like Kill Bill when she goes like so much? Like,
there's a very Kill Bill vibe in this, and I also, you know, 2 of you guys hadn't seen it, so I'm not going to spoil anything. But you know, Keanu is making the round saying that this is the last one, and I do not believe that even for 1 second.
No, yeah, it's a dope ass movie.
It's very
definitely
good.
go see it. Definitely better than Transformers. My favorite movie of the year.
I would have to think on that, but I would have to say it's at least a contender.
Yeah,
I mean, I know Ian's not high on Endgame, but as a lifelong comic book nerd, that's a big jump for you.
I probably can't say I liked it better than Endgame, but I will say I had this thought during it, this exact thought. I'm watching it, and, you know, Robert Pattinson thing, you know, I'm not a big fan of going back to young Batman. I wish they'd stay with an older person so they could do more of the sidekicks and more of Batman's larger world. So I'm watching this, and about halfway through it, and I'm like, man, why don't they make this motherfucker Batman? If you're going to do a middle-aged Batman, he'd be fucking great at it.
Yeah.
And then by the end of it, it's like, nah, this guy's too cool to be Batman. Like
This made me want a new Matrix.
Yeah.
Give us a new Matrix and give it to the John Wick guy.
It's fair. It'd be such a slap into the face to the Wachowskis, but really, what have they done to earn our trust since then?
Like, that would be cool.
Cloud Atlas is underrated.
Fuck you. Cloud Atlas is trash.
I really, really like Speed Racer a lot.
Yeah, I fucking love Speed Racer.
You know, I feel like I would like Speed Racer more if it didn't have fucking Emil Hirsch in it.
I think Emil Hirsch is... I have no complaints with that.
God damn it.
I didn't know that guy going in, so he was just a blank slate to me. He was basically like he was like a Keanu or a Tom Cruise. He was just
Speed
a blank
Racer
slate.
is not a good movie.
It is the only good live-action anime movie.
No,
Yeah, 100%.
It's not that good.
It's
Detective Pikachu.
great.
Yeah.
I don't consider Detective Pikachu an anime movie. I would consider it a video game movie.
I'm going to agree with Christian on this one.
It was a video game before it was an anime.
Okay. Well, we'll get deeper into those discussions some other week. So that's it for this week. Join us next week because I think we're due for our summer movie preview,
Yep,
right?
summer
I know it
movie
feels
preview.
weird because the summer for movie summer.
Kind of ends in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's kind of already close to the end, but we're gonna project out the next 3 months and hit you with all the big releases and hopefully some other releases that you may not have heard about that we're excited about.
August's actually pretty good this
Is
year.
it? Well,
yeah, the Dwayne and Johnson, Hobbs and Shaw,
Yeah.
You'll
and
tell us all about it next week.
Yep, we
Ian.
will get into it more next
on
week.
Real Phones.
So thank you guys for listening. Please
getting ushered off this.
Please rate and subscribe. Tell your friends. If you want to get in touch with us, you can reach us at realphonies@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter at realphonies and on Instagram at real_phonies. Thanks to Zach Evans for art and Brian Velasquez for our theme. We'll see you guys later.